Come on in, Mr. Duffy. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good. Take a seat. So, would you prefer that I called you Mr. Duffy or Matt?
Matt's fine.
Okay. So, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Stephanie Rossi, and I'm a social worker here at Safe Haven Rehabilitation Center here in Miami, Florida. And I will be your counselor here while you're going through treatment for the next 60 days. Before we get started, I just wanted to go over our informed consent. This is just stating that everything that you say with us with me, is confidential and I won't share with anyone else. The only instance I would is if there is an occasion where you're sharing information that you may be hurting yourself or someone else. In that fact, I would have to do that just to keep everyone safe, but besides that, everything's between you and I. Also, just explains that you're giving permission for you and I to be speaking together, and you can pull out of this conversation anytime you feel comfortable. So if you can just read that over and sign at the bottom, let me know if you have any questions. Great. Okay, so how are you feeling today?
Feeling alright.
Okay, so why don't you tell me why you're here? I see here that you were court mandated your treatment, but why don't you tell me in your own words?
They recommended me to be here, and I figured it would be a good idea since with everything going on, it's just been tough lately.
Okay, so was it recommended, or were you facing any jail time?
It was recommended. They said I could face jail time, so I figured I should try this,
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm glad you made this choice. This is a great start to your journey of sobriety. So I'm just going to ask you some questions just to get a better feel for you. So how old are you, Matt?
22.
You're 22, and where are you living?
Well, I was living in New York originally. Now I live up in Massachusetts, so.
Okay, so you came a long way here to Florida. Where's the furthest you've gone in your education?
Well, I dropped out of high school when I was younger, and I just never went back to finish anything.
Okay.
So it was basically when I was 16, if
When
I
you were
recall.
16. Okay, and what do you do for work right now?
I mean, I used to do construction and everything, and I used to, be able to work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hurt my back, so I've just been collecting disability, and
Okay, and were you prescribed any medication for your back?
Yeah, I got Vicodin, and
Okay, and was there anything else?
no, that's it.
Okay, and are you currently taking the Vicodin?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I heard you had kids. So how old are your children?
3 and 1.
3 and 1. That's great. And are you in a relationship? Are you married?
No, I used to be, but then, now I'm single, and, my baby mama doesn't really want to see me or let me see the kids, but I really want to see them,
Right. Thank you for sharing that. That's been hard for you.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions now to just gauge your preferred substances. So you can just answer me as truthfully as you can think of. So when was the last time you smoked cigarettes?
I'm still smoking them, so today.
Okay, so today, just before you got here?
Yeah.
And how many cigarettes do you smoke per day?
Like half a pack, maybe more. Not too sure exactly.
Okay. And when was the last time you drank alcohol?
Today, to be honest.
Today.
I usually drink it every day, unfortunately, but it makes me feel good.
So when was the last time you drank?
This morning.
Okay, and what do you drink?
Usually I drink scotch, or if I'm going on the lighter side, I might just have some beers.
Okay. And how much beer and scotch do you drink in one day?
Usually like close to a 12-pack when it adds up.
And how much scotch?
Half a bottle or so, maybe more, maybe less, depending on the night and day.
Okay, and when was the last time that you've used any drugs? So this could be heroin, marijuana, cocaine, tranquilizers.
Yeah. To be honest, yesterday.
Yesterday?
I've had the problem, and I keep doing drugs.
Okay, and when was the last time what substances do you actually use?
Well, lately I've been using heroin because it's cheaper.
Okay.
You know, that and marijuana.
All right. And when was the last time you used heroin?
Yesterday, to be honest.
Yesterday before you got here?
Yeah.
And when was the last time you used marijuana?
A couple days ago, actually. I've just been doing heroin a little more lately.
And when was the last time you were taking your Vicodins for your back pain?
Not too sure. I think it was the other day, to be exact.
And how often do you take heroin?
Usually when I have some money, I do it every day.
Every day? How often?
2 or 3 times a day.
2 or 3 times a day?
Yeah.
And what about marijuana? How often do you use that?
Anytime I can get my hands on it, to be honest.
And what about your Vicodin? So when are you prescribed to take them? How often?
I think 1 a day.
1 a day? How many do you take?
Maybe 4 or 5.
4 or 5 a day?
It just feels so good.
Okay. So you've already been through your detox, so we're just going to do a few assessments for you. Now I'm going to ask you some questions about your use of alcoholic beverages through the past year. So this includes beer, wine, vodka, scotch, and you can just let me know the answer. How often do you have a drink containing alcohol? Never, monthly or less, 2 to 4 times a month, 2 to 3 times a week, or 4 or more times a week.
4 or more times a week.
How many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you are drinking? 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7, 8 or 9, 10 or more.
Usually like 7, 8, or 9. Usually it could be more though some days.
Okay. How often do you have 6 or more drinks on one occasion? Never, less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Almost daily.
Okay.
It's tough. I can't stop.
Right, I understand. How often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you had started? Never, less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Almost daily.
Okay. How often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected from you because of drinking? Never, less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Almost daily. It takes over my life sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
How often during the last year have you needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy drinking session? Never, less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Almost daily.
How often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after drinking? Never, less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Almost daily. It's like every day just consumes my life.
Mm-hmm. How often during the last year have you been unable to remember what had happened the night before because you had been drinking? Never, less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Every day. Every day I feel like that. Every morning.
Have you or someone else been injured as a result of drinking? No, yes but not in the last year, or yes during the last year?
Yes, during the last year, it's actually happened before. It almost happened with me and my kids. I almost injured them when I was driving home one time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Has a relative or friend or a doctor or another health worker been concerned about your drinking or suggested you cut down?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, but not in the last year, or yes during the last year?
During the last year, yes.
Okay. Let me just score this up. Okay, so we do see that you are at high risk for alcohol dependence. So what does this make you feel?
I don't know. It's just tough. That's why I'm here. I really don't know how to fix it or handle it.
Okay, this is a great first step to fixing these problems. So now I'm going to ask you some questions about your substance abuse through the past year. This does not include alcohol, but it does include marijuana, pills, cocaine, opiates, tranquilizers, etc. So in the past 12 months, have you used drugs other than those required for medical reasons?
Yes.
Do you abuse more than one drug at a time?
Yeah.
Are you unable to stop abusing drugs when you want to?
Yes.
Have you ever had blackouts or flashbacks as a result of your drug use?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you ever feel bad or guilty about your drug use?
Yeah.
Does your spouse or parents ever complain about your involvement with drugs?
All the time.
Have you neglected your family because of drugs?
Unfortunately, yes.
Have you engaged in illegal activities in order to obtain drugs?
Yes, my whole life.
Have you experienced withdrawal symptoms when you stopped taking drugs?
Yeah.
Have you had medical problems as a result of your drug use?
Yeah.
So on this test, you are actually at a severe level of drug use. How do you feel about that?
It's just ruining my life. I've lost my kids basically. I've lost my girl.
Mm-hmm.
I just have nothing right now, really. That's why I'm here, trying to fix it.
Okay, well, I think you're in the right place. This is a good place to start and work on yourself and obtain your sobriety. So I'll be working with you on your sobriety. We're going to be meeting at least once a day, maybe any other time. This journey is not going to be easy, and you may stumble along the way, but this is a work in progress. This is where we're going to stumble and fall, but get back up. So we're going to give it our all, and me and you are going to work together, and you'll be amazed at what you can do. So, Matt, I'll see you tomorrow, and just get acquainted and get some rest, and we'll figure everything out tomorrow and just get through another meeting. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.